Jai Hind students, myself Pancham Singh, Assistant Professor in IT Department, AKGEC Ghaziabad. I am going to deliver a fourth lecture on the constructive cost model. The constructive cost model basically that is called the COCOMO model. So in COCOMO model, it is divided into three major categories. So constructive cost model has divided three major categories. That is, first one is the basic, second is the intermediate, and third is the detailed. So the model will calculate the cost of the project by using three different categories. So the model is proposed by the B.W. Bohans, and it comes in the market in 1981. So what is the COCOMO model, that is constructive cost model? So constructive cost model basically applied for organic model, semi-detached model, and embedded model. So how you will use the model for different mod. The first mod is that is organic mod. So how organic mod is different than semi-detached mod and embedded mod. So in organic mod, basically in organic mod, how much size of the project basically it will cover. So definitely it will cover the size of project is 2 to 50,000 of lines of code. This model is basically used for the small size of the project. For example, payroll, inventory project, etc. Now I am going to discuss about the second model, that is called semi-detached model. The semi-detached model basically used for the 50 to 300,000 line of code. This model is known as the medium-sized project model, and where it is used basically, this model basically used for the utility system like compiler, database systems, editor, etc. So this model is basically used for the small size of the project, and organic model is used for the small size of project, and semi-detached model is used for the medium size of the project. Now move for the third one, that is called embedded model. So embedded model is basically used for the large size of the project. And how much size of the project is there? Yeah, what are the size of the project? The project size is around 300,000 line of the code. So this model is basically used for the ATMs, air traffic control, and many other application of the large model. So large model basically it is used for the high level of the project. So in high level project basically it will deals with the real time system, complex interfaces. So where a large level of the projects we are going to develop, then you will use the embedded model. So this model is basically, these three models are basically used for the design for the as per the requirement of the users, as per the requirement of the customer. So these models are categorized. So in organic model, basically what are the innovation? So it is used for the small innovation, dealing of the project not tight. So it is very flexible, or you can say it is a small size of, it is used for the small size of the project, and it is familiar and in-house, basically used for the house purpose. Semi-detached model is the medium innovation, deadline for the project is medium, and environment development is also in the medium. And last one is the embedded model. Basically it is the invention of the innovation is the significant, deadline of the project is tight. Basically it is a large amount of data where you are using here, data in the terms of the number of lines of code, and basically it is a complex hardware customer interface required. So these models are basically used for the large amount of data size in terms of the lines of the code. So how you will calculate the effectiveness of this model? So the COCOMO model is basically used to calculate the different values. The first value is called, that is E equals to A subscript KLOC की power B subscript. So what purpose basically used for calculating the E? So what is E? The E is the effort applied in the person month. So basically E focus on the person month. And what about the D? D is the development time in the months. So how much time it is taking for developing the project and how many persons are used for to developing that particular project. So there are two values you are going to calculate by using this formula. So what are the software project basically, how they are using the values. So these A, B, C, these values basically, this is the coefficient AB, BB, CB and DB are given in the table. So these are the coefficient value. They are used for the different models. So software project model basically divided into three category I have already discussed, and these are the significant values. Basically A subscript B, for organic it is used for 2.4, and B subscript B basically 1.05, 2.5, and last one is the 0.38. For semi-detached model, so we are using the value of A subscript B is equal to 3.0, B subscript B is equal to 1.12, C subscript B equals to 2.5, and last one is the D subscript B equals to 0.35. So these are the basically significant values they are using in calculating the values and cost of the project for using these models. So now I am going to discuss about the next point, that is very important point, that is average staff size. So how you will calculate the average staff size? So when effort and development time are known, if you are knowing the development time and effort, then you can calculate the average staff size. So the average staff size to complete the project may be calculated. So by using the formula, that is average staff size equals to E divided by D. So E divided by D, average staff size you can calculate by using this formula. So what is the E? Basically E stands for E is the effort applied in the person month. So this is the E. And what about the D? D is the development time in the month. So how much time is taking to develop the project. So by using this formula here, average staff size that is called SS and equals to E divided by D, you can calculate the number of staff. Now if you are going to calculate the project size, so when project size is known, so if project size is given, then you can calculate the productivity level. So productivity level is calculated by the project size and divided by number of person and month. So that is stand for E. So productivity is thousands of lines of code divided by E person month, then you can calculate the productivity. So these are the two different formulas. They are also used in the COCOMO model for calculating the cost and effort by the software. So another formula here we are using, suppose that a project was estimated to be 400 KLOC, या 400 KLOC or 4 lakh lines of code. Calculate the effort and development time for each of the three models, that is organic, semi-detached and embedded. So by using the first model, that is called the organic model, how you will calculate the E and D? So the basic COCOMO model equation are same, like E equals to A subscript in bracket KLOC की power B subscript B, and similarly you can calculate D equals to C subscript KLOC की power D subscript B. So KLOC basically stand for thousands of lines of code, and A subscript B and B subscript B are given in the question, and by putting the value of A subscript B, B subscript B and KLOC, so you can calculate the value of E. Similarly, you can calculate the value of D if C subscript B and D subscript B are given, and similarly the number of lines of codes are also given, then you can calculate the D. So by using these two formula, then you can calculate the value of E and D. So by using the organic model, so organic model is basically used for the small size of the project. So here you are going to calculate the value of E and D for organic models. So organic model basically used to calculate the value of E. So here A subscript B is 2.4. You can see in the previous slide. So here A subscript B is equal to 2.4, B subscript B equals to 1.05, C subscript B is equal to 2.5, and similarly last one is the D subscript B is equal to 0.38. So by using these values in this question, so you can calculate easily the value of E. Similarly, you can calculate the value of D by using the C subscript B and D subscript B for organic model. So by putting the value of C subscript B and D subscript B and KLOC, you can easily calculate the value of D. So in both formula, you can calculate the E and D for organic model. So what about the semi-detached model? So semi-detached model is similar for organic model, but the value of A subscript B and B subscript B are changed, and C subscript B and D subscript B value are changed. So you can see the value of a semi-detached model is here. So by using this table, we will put the value of A subscript B and D subscript B. You can calculate the value of E and D easily. So here the model is using for semi-detached model. So by using the value of A subscript B and B subscript B and number of lines of codes, so easily you can calculate the value of E. And similarly for D, by putting the value of this and this, you can calculate the value of D by using the semi-detached model. So in both situations, you can calculate the value of E and D by using the different values. Similarly, in the embedded model, we will put the value of A subscript B and B subscript B. You will calculate the value of E, and similarly you can calculate the value of D. So in both situations, you can calculate the value of E and D for using the different values of A subscript B and D subscript B for this given table. Now I am going to discuss about the one more question here. A project size of 200 KLOC, or you can say 2 lakh lines of code, is to be developed. Software development team has average experience on similar type of project. The project schedule is not very tight. Calculate the effort development time that is called E, average staff size that is SS, and productivity of the project. So how you will calculate the value of these? So definitely you require some additional value, that is project size is given in the question, and the variable of A subscript B and B subscript B and D subscript B's are already given in the table for different models. Then you can easily calculate. So here you can calculate the semi-detached model is the most appropriate model for calculating the values. So for calculating the value, you are using the formula E equals to 3.0 into the project size is given 200. So by using the value 200 here, this is the project size, and you will calculate the value of E. Similarly, if you are going to calculate the average staff size, that is SS, so average staff size you will calculate only on the basis of E and D. If E is given and D is given, then by putting the value of E and D, you can easily calculate. As you know that you have calculated the value of E in the upper side, and you have already calculated the value of D here. So by putting these value, you can calculate the staff size, average staff size. So how much size is required for this question? So in this question, total 38.67 persons are required. Around 39 people are required to develop that project. So how you will calculate the productivity? So productivity is basically calculated by project size, that is KLOC, that is 1000 lines of code, and divided by E. As you know that you have already calculated the value of E here. So by putting the value of project size and E, you can easily calculate the value of productivity. So by using these two values, we can calculate the productivity. So productivity is given here. The P is equals to 176 lines of code, that is the productivity. So average productivity is basically depend upon the project size and divided by E. So average productivity is around 176 lines of code. Now I am going to discuss about what is the risk, because you know very well what is the risk. Risk is the major factor to developing the project. So developing the project means kya hoga? What is the risk? Basically, risk may be in the starting phase, maybe in the end phase, maybe in the middle phase. So risk may be occur at the different phases. So now I am going to discuss about the risk. So risk is what? Tomorrow's problems are today's risk. So if you are going to know the risk, tomorrow problem are today is the risk. So definitely, if you are going to invent new things, so definitely it will give the challenge for developing the new things for tomorrow. So risk is a problem that may cause some loss or threaten the success of the project. Threaten means कि if you are going to develop a project, ठीक है, maybe it will cause the problem or it will be threatened by the success of the product. Maybe some people they have threatened the project, maybe it will cause the problem of the success of the project. So there are two different types of risk may be occur at the development of the project, at the launch of the project. Product means project. Okay. So now I am going to discuss about the risk management is the process of identifying, addressing and the elimination the problem before they can damage the project. So risk management means what? Risk management, we are going to find out the risk factor. What risk factor is the current level or initial phase, and what risk factor at the potential problem in the risk. So there it may be influenced by the current problems, can be inherited by the potential problem. So you will identify the problems of the risk at the development time, or you can say at the launch time. So by using the own technique, which type of risk will be occur, so definitely you will solve that problem. Otherwise it will create the problem for launching the project, for developing the project. Maybe it will create the problem in the teamwork. So definitely you will identify such types of problems. So typical software risk may be divided into 5 categories. The first category is the dependencies on outside agencies or factors. So some agencies, outside agencies, they are also creating the type of the risk. It may be divided into some important points. The first is the availability of the trained, experienced person. Intergroup dependency, customer furnished items or information, internal and external subcontract relationship. So dependencies in terms of the these points, availability of the trained, experienced person. If the person are more trained in for developing the project, so you are totally dependent on that particular person. Intergroup dependencies, if 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 groups are there, they are developing the project, maybe if some groups are left the project, then it will create the problem. Similarly, customer furnished item or information, it also cause the problem of the project. Now move for the second point, that is the requirement issues. So what requirement basically required by the developer to developing a project. So then definitely you can say if the requirement is not fulfilled, then definitely it will suffer the project. So uncertain requirements, wrong product, this type of requirement will be occur and it will create the problem. Right product badly, what product you are going to use, you are not up to date about that particular project, maybe it will create the problem. Lack of the clear product vision, you are not know about the detailed knowledge of the project, how you will develop that project and which level you will reach the project. Lack of agreement on product requirements, what product are basically requirement for developing that project. Unprioritized requirement, new market with uncertain needs. If you are going to launch that particular project, so definitely you know the market level. Yeah, you will review the market. Is this project required for that particular market or not? Rapidly changing requirement. As you know, day by day the things are going to change, and the people they are using different technologies. and you are ready for that, adopting that technologies and going to change that your project. Management issues. Sometimes your all things are going in a good manner, but it will create the management level problem. Then your project will be delayed. So management level issue may be create the problem of the project delay. The first problem is the inadequate planning. If you are not properly plan that particular project, launch of the project, start of the project, how much time it will take to execution, then definitely it will create the problem. Now move for the next one is the adequate visibility into actual project status. So what is the status of the project? If you're time to time you're not going to check the status of the project, definitely it will create to delay of the project. Unclear project ownership, it also create the problem. Staff personality conflict is another major problem for developing any project. Unrealistic expectation, sometimes the project leader, they are putting their unrealistic expectation कि we are demanding for this amount of cost. If you're not paying the such amount of cost, amount of salary, then I am going to leave the job. So it will create also the problem. Poor communication. So if you're not properly communicated to that particular group for designing the software, designing the project, it also create the problem. So everything are in a planning for developing a project, for watching the project, for checking the status of the project. Everything is depend upon the one by one important points. Now move for the fourth point, that is lack of knowledge. If you have not know about that particular designing of the project, knowledge about the project, and you have opened the software company, then definitely you will suffer. Inadequate training are required. Inadequate training is also lack of knowledge cover. Lack of knowledge means क्या होगा? You are not knowing the things which are basically used in the developing a project. Poor understanding of the methods, tools and techniques. You are not know about the latest techniques, latest methods which are basically required by the users, required by the customer. And adequate application domain experience, new technologies or new challenges which are coming nowadays day by day. So you are ready to grasp that technology, you are ready to change for that technologies, then you will in the market. Otherwise you will out of the market. So these are the factors basically very important for risk management. If you are going to design, develop and launch any project, so definitely you will study about the detailed knowledge of the project, which will not create in your project. Other risk categories: unavailability of the adequate testing facilities, turnover of essential personnel, unachievable performance requirement, technical approaches that may not work. So these are the another type of the risk category which generally you will face in the developing a project. So here is the main risk category is the turnover of the essential personnel. So what is the turnover of the company? What is the turnover of that project? When you are going to launch that project, what is the cost of that particular project at the launching time? So definitely if it will take more time for developing a particular project, so definitely you are in the loss. If you are framing that project in the timely, then definitely you are in the benefit. So overall calculation is depend upon the how much time, how many papers they are basically used to design that particular project, for developing that particular project. That is major concern. Risk management activities. Risk management activities basically categorized into different categories. Risk management is the major concern is here. Now move for the risk management, risk assessment and risk control. How risk assessment will work? Risk assessment will work: risk identification, risk analysis, risk prioritization. So by using the risk assessment, by using this category, risk assessment, risk identification. So first you will find out the what are the risks are there, how you will analyze the risk, which type of labels basically it will create the risk. It will create by the input label, by the output label. Maybe your project is properly running, somebody has going to change your project and you are not getting the properly output, so it will create the problem. Risk prioritization. So definitely you will find out the risk, which type of risk generally you are facing at the beginning level, at the end level. So first you will find out your prioritization, means you will write down the which type of risk you will face. What about the risk control? So risk control, basically you will control the risk as per the planning. So risk management planning. So first you will, before you are going to develop a project, you will plan the everything. So planning is required for the risk control, the risk management planning, risk monitoring and risk resolution. So planning means for going to face the challenges. Planning for risk monitoring. If you are time to time monitoring the risk, which type of risk may be occur in your project, so definitely you will solve that particular problem. Resolution means you will resolve the risk which may be occur at the execution of the project. Maybe it will different forms. Risk assessment. Basically, risk assessment is the identification of the risk. Risk analysis, I have already discussed about the, involves examining how project outcomes might change with modification of risk input variables. So now you are going to get the actual result. So how you will get the actual result? If your project is not modified, not changed by the other people, then it will work properly and you are getting the actual result. But maybe somebody has modified your project, so definitely as per given input you are not getting the output. So risk analysis, you are analysis the risk at the different phase, yeah, different levels. Risk prioritization, focus for service risk. Prioritization means we are prioritize the risk at the every levels. If you are going to prioritize the risk, definitely your project will successfully deliver at the end. But if you are not going to prioritize the risk, it will create the problem. Risk exposure. Exposure means it is the product of the probability of incurring a loss due to the risk and the potential magnitude of that loss. So what are the loss is there and how you will solve that particular problem. So solve the problem means the risk is there. So how you will reduce the risk? You will reduce the risk by time to time monitoring the risk management, yeah, risk assessment. So by using the different risk assessment techniques, you will solve the challenges, you will solve the problems which generally occur in the developing the project. Another way of handling risk is the risk avoidance. So you may avoid the risk before coming the risk. So definitely before you are going to face the risk, you are ready to avoid that particular risk. So do not do the risk things. Maybe if you are, there are two ways you can learn the things. Either you can face the challenges, either you can see the problems. So we may avoid risk by undertaking certain projects or by relying on proven rather than cutting edge technologies. So you can handle the risk by avoiding the problem. So risk control, risk management planning produces a plan for dealing with risk. It may be record decision in the plan. Risk resolution is the expectation of the plan for dealing with each risk. So risk control, we are controlling the risk which are generally will be occur. So by using the risk control, you can also stop the problem of the risk which generally occur in the project. Thank you.